What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Truth on the Rocks.
Woo!
Y'all, this is episode 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
One, two,
We
three,
did 5
five.
times so far.
Right.
Right. Well, thank you guys for joining us so much today. We appreciate that. And please remember to like, share, and follow us on all our social media pages at Truth on the Rocks. And feel free to comment throughout the show because we are back and we are live. We're live. We're here in the flesh.
Live.
I'm Maurice Griffin.
I am Dia Anderson.
I am Renata Del Carmen.
And I am Gerald Frank, the Black psychologist. You already know who this is. You all see my good side? You all see that? My good side?
Turn to the other side.
My line's still straight. You all see that?
You
all seeing that?
Turn the back of your head this time.
Oh shit.
Okay. All right.
See,
you know what?
He's not your friend.
You know
He's
what?
not
He's
your
not my
friend.
person, but it's all good. It's all good. So before we even get into any topics or anything like that, listen, what are you guys having on the rocks tonight? What's going on? What you
I
having? So, Ren, what you got?
I actually don't have any rocks, but it's passion fruit juice with a bit of De Leon tequila.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, so tequila. You got some tequila in there? Well, speaking of your tequila, I got some tequila too up in here, okay?
Oh,
I got some Patronus in my wine. Don't judge me, all right? Don't knock it until you try it.
You know what? It sounds a little hood. Maurice, what you got?
Well, I'm just having plain old peach Ciroc right here, just keeping it very simple. You know, I'm trying not to drink as much because once I start, sometimes it's hard for me to stop. So I'm just trying to.
Oh, okay.
Tonight.
Well, keep it simple there, my brother. So tonight for me, I'll be having Capri Sun.
Oh my God, he is so annoying.
Oh man,
Get what you need, Gerald. Get what you need.
World. This is a Super Mario World 3D fruit punch Capri Sun. And but the question is, what was in here before the Capri Sun went in there?
Okay, all right. Because we feel left out when you drinking the juice and we drinking the real juice. I don't appreciate it.
This is Capri Sun and so take
and
and whatever it is.
Okay.
All right, guys, listen. So before we get started, what have you guys been up to? What has the week been like? What you guys been up to this week? Maurice.
What are you been into, Moses? Go ahead, Moses. Maurice is in Los Angeles. I don't know what y'all talking about. He's living his best life.
He's in Los Angeles, and you did you all see the fact that he had to chalk in the E because of the misspell on the word Angeles?
Yes. You got your different paint.
A little bit.
Now you're gonna see. I'm about to
do a painting that night.
Now you're gonna feel bad because my cousin was painting for me at the age of 10 a couple of years ago.
Really?
Lajay Patterson Paintings. I don't know if that's the name of her business, but I just gave it to her. Okay, Lajay Patterson Paintings. She made this a couple of years ago. I don't know. I was at her house. Her mother and I are really close, and I said something about Los Angeles and make it for me. So look, I mean, and before I knew it, she did this. But let me tell you how I got the painting. Because she made it for me. Her mother told me she made it. It was over there for months. She lives in Connecticut. I'm barely ever in Connecticut, right? So then one day I go to my family's church and they're having like a sale. This is on sale. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't that my painting? So now it's up for sale. So I had to buy it on the spot because the girl made it for me, but they want to sell it. I was like, y'all disrespectful. But anyway, I bought my painting.
I love her hustle. I love her.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up to her. Absolutely. You got
that. Is hilarious.
You got that, and you deserved it. Ren, what you got?
Listen, me and my bank account are recovering from my daughter's sweet 16. So just bear with me, okay? Bear with me.
First of all, I ain't even watched nothing on social media because I'm like, I can't make it. I don't want to have FOMO, fear of missing out. But I'm gonna watch it on Monday. I'm gonna just sit down and watch everything and just like it and comment and share.
I haven't posted anything yet. My daughter's like,
okay,
pictures.
Okay.
They come.
Okay.
Did she
It
have
was
a good time?
She said it was the best party ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
As
That's
long as
awesome.
she's happy, I'm happy.
Excellent.
Good job, Mom.
That's awesome.
Good
Mom.
job.
Good job to Mom. Listen, I didn't have much going on this week for me, but the question is, what is going on in the world today? Like, we just coming off of a pandemic. Everybody's trying to get back to some type of state of normalcy. And over in another country, one country is invading another one, right? And just bombing the place. What's happening? Are you guys seeing this? What are your thoughts on this?
I'm more concerned about our psychological state. Like, I know what's happening over there, but for me, I just feel like we're not taking this serious. We never take anything serious until it punches us in the face. What are we waiting for? Why is nobody in a panic? Why are people still trending? Why are people still going to work? Like, why are we not taking this serious? I don't understand. I do not understand.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, that's America's problem, right? Like, if it doesn't directly, or they don't see how it directly affects them, then it's not a cause for concern. But it's directly affecting us because gas prices, the price of oxtail is through the roof.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's that? What did you say?
The gas prices and the price of oxtail is through the roof.
Yes. What's the gas prices in New York?
Well, like premium is averaging like $4.90. I used to fill my tank.
I don't put premium.
Wait, not premium. Wait,
where's that Benz? Where's that B? I'll put regular in my
Listen, the last time I put regular in my Benz, my engine says what?
Oh my God.
My engine was like, no, we don't do this.
That's why she said premium.
I don't have a Benz, so regular gas is $3.98.
Right. She just one upped us real quick.
Say, I have
You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Listen, and my man is the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky, girl. Like, he's just dressed in regular clothes. Like, he's on Facebook. Like, listen, this is what's going on. I need help. He's ready to go out there and defend his country. So, and honestly, my prayers go up to Ukraine, and I just hope that whatever is going on there, all stuff that's going on there would be able to, people will just stop. We can go back to some type of normalcy. Everywhere in the world.
I just need our president to mind his business. Mind your business. Like, if you were in the hood and you grew up in the hood, you would know there's certain people's problems you just don't involve yourself in. Like, if I'm with my friend and somebody punches her in the face, my immediate reaction is not to jump in the fight. Okay? Because I got to preserve all of this. My immediate reaction is, girl, think about this. Do you really want to swing back?
That's good to know.
No more blowing up stuff.
No more blowing up stuff. But speaking of spots being blown up, and Kanye, right? Kanye has literally been blowing up the internet for the past couple of months. He's been consistently trending for his documentary, which I love, for all the shit he's doing to Kim, which nobody wants to acknowledge may be some sort of emotional and psychological abuse, but that's a whole nother story. Even with what he's doing with Pete, he's also dropping what musical boxes, like what is that thing he has that he's only selling his music on? I don't know.
Streaming service, something.
Right. Streaming, I think it's actually a musical device. But see, that's what happens when you don't do your research. Yeah, because I ain't do my research. But he did something. He did something to make sure that he was the only one who benefited from the sales. And I'm not mad at all. So my question is, and we'll get into the documentary too, but my question is, do you guys think that Kanye is crazy?
I don't think, I wouldn't say he's crazy, but I believe he's admitted to being diagnosed as bipolar. So that's like a fact. So
okay.
I don't think he's think that defines you as being crazy, but he does have mental challenges.
Well, I don't know if you guys are watching the documentary. Renata, you were going to say something?
No, I don't know if crazy is the term I would use for him. I think the public has diagnosed him based on their understanding of him. And some people have a grander understanding. Some people know not much, just what's posted online or how the media outlets depict him. But I think there is not necessarily I hate the term crazy to reference him, but I think there's a disorder that has not been treated. And so now, after living his life for so long, and I don't know what type of treatments he has or has not had, he has started to live his life out loud with this. And there's some backpedaling that needs to happen. And I don't know, when you're a billionaire, if you want to backpedal after what you've become a billionaire with this issue, right? How do you tell a billionaire, like, you actually need support in this way? And they're like, well, why? Because my life has grown to this with this issue. So I think it's more of that. But yeah, I'm to talk to the psychologist. He may
Well, what do you think, Gerald?
First of all, Kanye West is a creative genius. Like understanding, like trying to understand the mind of Kanye West, it would take a lot to understand like his thinking process, because it's that same thinking process that has allowed him to create as much as he has created along the years, that has propelled so many people's careers musically. Right? Yeah. Because not just the music that he put out, but the music that he has produced for others. He has a lot of hits out there, stuff that he's done on his own, stuff that he's done for other people. So he's a genius. He's a genius. As far as his mental health has to always be taken seriously, right? It's a serious issue. And it's a known fact that he was diagnosed with bipolar mood disorder. In understanding that disorder, right, we have periods of mania and periods of depression. Right. So a lot of times, what we might be witnessing on TV, on the social media, may be the rises and the falls of his moods. Right. They may go into periods of increased mania, and the what happens in that time of mania could be a lot. It could be creativity. Just outbursts, anger outbursts. It can be a lot that goes on in the manic period. And then you have the depressive period where they want to be withdrawn and they don't want to take showers. And so that's just some of the characteristics from that. So what we're witnessing is actually what the disorder playing itself out in public. That's what I feel is happening.
So the mania part of it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, really, one thing I'm going to say, the person he's currently dating is a therapist, and I just hope that she is not his therapist, because that sounds like a grand conflict of interest. But, yeah.
Well, women just as much as men suffer from super saver hoe syndrome. Whether she's a therapist or not, so she might be trying to save a hoe. I'm just saying. But as far as Kanye being manic, right? The thing so he says that he was diagnosed with being bipolar. For me, I think that the only thing that's highlighted on social media is when he is manic. We've never been privileged to Kanye being depressed or anything like that. So do we even know for sure that this is a thing? What I've come across is the fact that when things are happening within the world and other people don't understand, or a person doesn't fit into their box, we have to put you in a box, because that's the only way normal people or average people on the outside can understand and justify the behavior and what's happening. You're either, you got to be on the spectrum, or you got to be bipolar, or you got to be crazy, because normal people need to justify behavior. Now, I'm not saying that he's not any of those things, but I'm just saying what has been presented to us has only been the highlight of him being at this high and him being manic. So I don't know. Did you guys watch the documentary at all?
I did.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, at least.
So even with you not watching it, I just feel like the documentary for me gave me some insight to how Kanye thinks a little bit. And his mom, like his relationship with his mom was crazy. Not crazy like bad. I mean, like, I just feel like this woman, there was nothing Kanye did that wasn't amazing. Everything he did was amazing. She told him that it was amazing. You know how white parents tell their kids all the time, baby, you're amazing, you're wonderful, you can sing, you can dance, keep up the good work. She had that going for her. And it was crazy because I'm like, wow, like Black people, we're not allowed to like be like that as parents because we're like, oh, we got to prepare our kids for the real world, right? But here it is that his mom saw something in him and all she did was praise him. They never showed any signs where she was like, Kanye, do you think this is this and this is that? Never had a reason to question himself, right? So how that translates into today, when I see him in the world today, he believes he can do anything. He's never been told no. His mother never told him no. That's our first relationship with the world is in our household. Never told him no. So right now, there is no such thing as no. And Renata said, you know, him being a billionaire, but I'm like, he doesn't even know what the word no is. So anything he wants, he goes after it with vigor. And it's something that we're not really used to in a sense because he doesn't care who he knocks down. And it's in the public in order to get to the place of his best. Dame Dash and him didn't say yes right away, right? They kept putting him on the sidelines. He didn't have a pity party and say, oh, they're not putting my work out there. He said it, but he didn't cause that to stop him. He kept going. He was like, well, I'm going to go and create it myself. That is the most powerful thing on the planet. That is everything that everybody should live by. If somebody can't give you what it is you desire, the goal is to realize the power is within yourself to create the world that you want to live in. Kanye has clearly created the world that he wants to live in. We may not be there, but he created that world. And so even when it comes to Kim Kardashian, and I'm looking like, yeah, this is kind of abusive. I don't like it.
Well, I'm happy that they made this documentary because we get to see that. We get to see that side, and I haven't watched it yet. But we get a chance to see that side of Kanye West and some of the reason behind his behaviors and the reason why he's so persistent in everything that he does. And I think we should take as parents, the parents on the panel, we take a page from his mom's book. Like we need to praise our kids. We need to encourage them to be what it is they want to be and explore their mind and expose them to so many different various things that so that they can understand the value of just using your mind in different ways,
right? And not being limited. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so I did watch a documentary which was pretty long for one whole day, but I watched all 3 episodes in one day, and I do think I actually saw similarities in the personalities between Kanye's mother and himself. So I think a lot of the way that he acts, I saw in her. So yes, I agree with you. I agree. She thought what he did was amazing. It was very like even how she knew his raps before he was even famous. Like she was singing song by song, lyric by lyric. However, I do think she did give him some pushback. She did tell him he was arrogant. He said, "You think I'm arrogant?" But she kind of a way of like, well, not arrogant, but you also have to present yourself a certain way. Right. But he, I do think he got no. I think, he got no when he was trying to become an artist, and then even when he got signed to Rockefeller, like I don't think they really took him seriously because they still just saw him as a producer, and he had to prove himself. To your point, like he had the. I think Kanye made it where he is today because he had the drive to prove himself, which he got from, and which that confidence came from his mother. But I'm not necessarily sure if this is honestly Kanye's story, because this was told through the voice of Cootie, somebody who he grew up with. So through the eyes of that person, this is what Kanye looked like. And you know, when you have footage, you can cut a story up into any narrative that you want. So to me, when
It's
I look
true.
at this, well, this is still not, to me, this is still not Kanye's story, because it's not Kanye's voice. Even at the end, I was looking at the credits, like, did he approve it? Is he like a producer? Is he? No, he allowed him to record, but it was the guy's video camera, and he was recording all these footage for many years. The guy owned it, so I guess like if Kanye wanted to do it, like I guess he could have sued him or whatever. But like I still don't think this is Kanye's story, because this is just like a story about Kanye through the eyes of someone else.
Right. One of the comments actually says, Alex Frank said, exposure is great. And I agree with what his mother did, but we also have to highlight the unintended consequences of her not showing him how to deal with no. And that's powerful, because the flip side to it is, was his mother patronizing him and not really helping him deal with the reality of people are going to tell you no some days, and this is how you're going to handle it.
But I do think he dealt with no. Like, if you even follow the story between him and Kim, there was years before they got married that he wanted to be with her. Kim had another whole marriage and relationship probably in between when he was pursuing her and after they got married. Even to this day, Kim decides to leave him and divorce him. That's a no.
That's a no. But he doesn't know how to deal with it.
He
doesn't know how to deal with it.
That is, he's being told no, but he doesn't know how to handle it.
Right.
And I think what plays a part into that is his mental illness on how to handle that. So this is not like a bashing thing about Kanye, but it brings into like, how do you handle like different relationships when you're like going through divorce, or like when you're being rejected, or like even you brought up Kim Kardashian, like parenting and co-parenting issues, you know, like just like those are the type of issues that like I think like springboard from Kanye's issues that we see in the headlines now.
Okay, so I feel like not being able to take the word no is not a bad thing. I don't think that contributes to mental illness, because I feel like that's most of the people who are rich and billionaires were like not taking the no. See, people can tell you no, and it's like, okay, you're a no, but I may have to get 100 no's before I get the one yes. So can we throw that on mental health? Because me being an entrepreneur, I'm like, ain't nobody telling me yes. And all the no's, I had to go and create something and say, well, I'm going to be my yes. And now you're going to be like, well, can I be a part? And I'm going to be like, no.
Yeah, I don't know if I do feel like he struggles with the no's and the rejections, which we all do, right? Like for some, it causes us to give up, and for others, it's a motivator. I think with Kanye, what I've noticed is that when he believes something is possible, and when he believes in the vision, if it's himself, his project, his work, his marriage, he refuses to take no for an answer, which is different, right? So like with his marriage, I feel like he wants to be together for kids, but for the kids, I want to say that he loves Kim. I have my thoughts on like his relationship with Kim, but when you buy a house next door to your wife who is no longer interested in being with you, and you never really actually interact with her, you guys only take care of the children, which the children are being transported by nannies. So like you only see the nanny. You don't even see this woman that you want to maintain this relationship with. And you are out with other women, claiming other women publicly and saying you want your wife back. It's just kind of like,
it's normal. It's actually normal behavior.
So I think for him, it's like he believes in his vision, but like the clip from Instagram, like Kim saying like she had 3 other kids because she wanted these children. She maybe she wanted more than 4, who knows? But she wanted all of her children to have the same father. At what point does this marriage end? Because we know the marriage doesn't end at the divorce. It ends long before that. So did she continue to have children just because she wanted that, because that creates a whole different dynamic in their relationship, right? So like, I'm not a Kim basher, I'm not a Kardashian basher, but I also do not feel sorry for what she's experiencing with him in this moment.
I feel sorry for, you know how, well, let me say this. Kanye and I are not on good terms right now, right?
Oh, he spoke to you?
Why is that?
I don't know into that at all, but as a fan, as admiring the artist, like I'll always take up for Kanye because he's a Black creative. I believe he belongs to us. I believe and I appreciate and acknowledge everything he's done for our culture. But he hurt my feelings when he stood up on television and said slavery was a choice. Now I don't know if he apologized for that, but that hurt my feelings because basically you crapped on our ancestors. You crapped on our story. You crapped on our struggle and how we fought to overcome that by basically just saying slavery was a choice. And also how you support a man who doesn't care who doesn't care about anybody who looks like your same hue. So I have an issue when you have those kind of people. And then also, and the reason why I really have, because there's other people who supported Trump. There's other people I'm sure who say things. But when you have this type of influence and your career was built on the backs of the people that you are messing on, I have an issue with that. So that's why Kanye and I are not on good terms. At the same time, I acknowledge all that he's contributed to the culture. So, you know, but back to Kim, I do have a problem with how he's treating Kim, who is now his ex-wife, but that is still his mother, the mother of his children, who was his wife, who's his family. I have a problem with treating your family a certain way online. And I've gone through that myself. I've had family members say things online about us. I'm just like, first of all, what are you talking about? Where are you getting from? That wasn't even, that didn't happen. Why are you making this? So you know what's going on over there on Old Calabasas Boulevard in the house of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, the old house, because they don't have a house together anymore. But I just have a problem. If you have handle that privately, don't take that to social media. That's right. I have a problem with that.
So, and I knowing who we are as people, agree, right? I have a problem with that. However, the Kardashians have lived every moment of the past almost 20 years publicly. So for him, it's not out of the ordinary, right? All of the things that have been played out on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, like if we're going to be on television talking about your stepfather transitioning to a woman, right? Or Lamar Odom's health concerns, right? Why are we not talking about our divorce, right? So, and they still have a show. And I'm curious to see how to play out on that show, right? There's also the Tristan Thompson scenario with Khloe. There are a lot of major moments that probably should have been private that the Kardashians used to generate income for themselves and build their brands. And so I wonder, like, and Kanye has never been that person. As long as I've known Kanye, even in his lyrics, like he puts a lot of stuff out there and has always done that. He's always been erratic behavior from the George Bush doesn't care about Black people to the right. So like, he did all of that before Kim decided to marry him. It's
right. It makes sense that they attract each other because the spotlight is significant for both of their lifestyles, and they both seem like they have no problems being in the spotlight and sharing, you know, like you said, things that you feel may need to be secret, but they're like, we're putting it on TV. I think that the problem comes in where the Kardashians don't have the control over the content that's being put out. All right, I love the Kardashians. Let me repent 3 times. I'm just saying.
You really repented 3 times. You really did that 3 times, for real.
Because Kim did mention something about I deserve to be with a man who like blah, blah, blah. And she started like crying or whatever the case is. So I think them not having that control is definitely important. But I do also feel like when Kanye does it, The part with his daughter bothered me in a sense where he was like, I don't want my daughter to be on this. It's almost like corralling people to see your perspective, because it is a valid perspective when you think about a child being on social media, and North is on social media, and the people are like, put your mommy's credit card online. She's exposed. They're not normal. They're not normal. They're not average. So they're
I didn't know
exposed to
that.
a whole different type of
Put your mother's credit card on.
predator. Yes. We were all waiting. I mean, y'all were all waiting, you know? But I feel like I don't even know if Kanye has good intentions. I feel like he is intentional and calculated by everything he does. But if he had good intentions about his daughter not being on social media because of the different type of predators that she attracts just because of who she is, then I can understand that. But it also is bringing some sort of it's bringing a demise to the family, because now North's name is out there like she's freaking Kim and Kanye. She's literally just as famous as her parents. So I feel like when you go through in real life, if we separate from the celebrity, when you're going through a divorce, the main thing you want to do is try to keep it from affecting your kids in a negative light. And social media is going to have at it. So once you put that out there thinking you have these good intentions, you trying to protect her from certain type of predators, you're now putting her in the hands of other type of predators that's going to assassinate this whole situation and make it worse and blow up. It's just exhausting, honey. I don't even know why I care, but this is my
I mean, I just feel like as a man, as a father, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always very cautious of my behavior and how my behavior can impact my children. Who when my kids see me on TV or wherever, like, who is the man that they're seeing? Who is the man that I'm showing to them? In private or even in public, right? So purchasing a home across the street, can be perceived differently, right, depending on who looks at it. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, if my daughter had a husband and she divorced him, and and he purchased a house next door to her or on the other side of the street, I'm getting involved. Me and the boys will be getting involved, because now this is border, because that could be perceived as something else. It could be perceived as borderline abusive, controlling, all this type of stuff. So it's like we have to be careful, like as men, the decisions that we make and how we want the world to perceive these decisions.
Yeah. To that point, Gerald, about the kids and how the kids view him, I think I started to soften up in my perspective towards Kanye. Occasionally he goes live on Instagram with his Sunday service choir, and like the children are there, and it's basically him walking around with his phone and like either being involved with what the choir is doing or like monitoring the kids. And you see, and they look so happy. I mean, their parents are billionaires, so why wouldn't they be happy?
Why wouldn't they be happy?
They look so like content, and it appears that they feel safe. That's the point. Like at one point, kids are playing and kids get into it. It's my toy, or like I was doing this, or this is how I want to play. And there was one time where you see him like go and get one of the kids because there seems to be an issue with the kids, and you could hear like how protected the child felt in his arms after he picked them up. You know what I mean? So it kind of was like heartwarming a little bit to see him interact with his kids and how safe they feel around him. But this was also prior to like when he spiraled with his Pete Davidson attacks and like all of the recent things he's posted online.
Right. And this is the last point I'll make about this, right? To the argument, like you have to protect your family, and the children are probably not overly exposed to these situations like we are. I don't even think those children grasp how big their family name is, because they know their family's on television, but do they understand to the magnitude how famous they are? So I don't think they even realize or know what Kanye is even posting online, because they probably don't even have access to that information. So of course, to Renata's point, daddy's, this is just daddy, who like I love, who plays with me, who puts me on his shoulders and we play and crawl around the house. So it's just daddy, So, but anyway, I just want Kanye. I want us to have a good relationship again. So I just want love everything, because I love listen, I will always stand up for him as a mental health advocate. I'll stand up for him as someone who loves Black creatives. I'll stand up for him. I think he's, just to Gerald's point, he's a creative genius. Like he's made great careers. But like at the same time, and I also recognize he has issues, but it's the other issues where it's like you can't treat your family like that, man, and you can't crap on people who made you who you are. You can't and get away with it.
If only average men had friends like that in their circle to tell them, you gotta pay child support, sir. Oh, okay. All right. So that's my truth. I don't know what y'all trying.
I feel you just plug that in there. I feel you just plug that in there, them dear.
And that's very good, because we are about to go into the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me God.
Are you ready?
So help me God. And I just want to use this opportunity to shed light on our topic discussion around the Ukraine, because that's a very important topic to pay attention to. And so today's truth, or nothing but the truth, is a bit intense, but hopefully will pique some thoughts around what we should be doing as people during this time, no matter where you are in the world. So you are entering a bomb shelter for 20 years. You are about to enter a bomb shelter for 20 years. You can take one person in with you. Which Truth on the Rocks member
oh my God.
are you taking with you into the bomb shelter? Nemdi, who's going with you in the bomb shelter?
Well, I kind of feel pressure when you're asking the question. So,
no pressure, no pressure.
Ren is not allowed to do this ever again.
Ever again.
20 years.
She's making me think. I don't appreciate it. She's making me think. And Maurice's Los Angeles sign is distracting. So, oh my God. So I think, who would I take? Let me say why. Okay, so if I took Ren, I know that if there are enemies on the front line, Ren would literally tell them to fuck off and they would die of seizures. Okay, so then we would win whatever happens. Maurice could read somebody into oblivion, and again, we would probably, be safe in our bunker. Gerald would outthink everybody who is there. So, do I need somebody who's going to outthink or who's going to be emotional and reactionary? I think I'm going to go with the thinker. I think I'm going to go with you. And we can have some fun. I think I'm going to go with Gerald for that reason.
And the fact that you didn't want to think about it, I loved going through that thought process with you.
Right. All you did was think through the process.
Shut up.
Maurice, who are you taking into the bomb shelter for 20 years?
First of all, when I heard you have to go into a bomb shelter for 20 years, I automatically just stopped at that point. I was like, I don't want that kind of life. I live in a bomb shelter. I don't want to go to wow. And why? Is that a part of the question too?
No, you just entering a bomb shelter for 20. I mean, in the way of the world currently, it wouldn't be out of the norm. With Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson headed to the moon every 5 seconds. Like,
they might be onto something we don't know about,
okay,
huh?
Right.
I think I would take Gerald. Well, Gerald is one of my best friends, right? So I would take him, I think. But also, the real reason I would take him is because I could just push him. If they start shooting, I could just push him at the door and like let him get it.
Good. I'm glad you ain't choose me, a mother of five to seven children.
Get him. Yes, I haven't had any kids. I haven't been married. I still have a whole life ahead of me.
Oh my God.
Gerald, who are you going?
Oh my gosh. Firstly, I hope that this never occurs.
Ever.
Going into a
Listen.
bomb shelter for any reason at all. Oh my goodness! Wow. I think that I'm thinking, yo, I'm gonna need someone who got some hands, yo, like, you know what I mean, who'll be able to just,
I'm not natural, Maurice. Just so
You know
you know.
what I mean? It's not-
you know what I mean, like boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? I could throw a gun and they can start shooting.
Yeah.
But,
You know what I mean? So, you know, look, I've seen Dimdia and her family get into some fight back in the day. I have seen it in the sanctuary.
I wasn't gonna bring that part up. I wasn't gonna bring it up. But it's true.
At bars. I've seen it in the street.
oh
I've
my
seen it in the
God.
sanctuary.
Oh
I've seen it all
my
over.
God. Yo, they be trying to test our light skin, bro.
You know what I
They
mean?
be
So
trying to test the light skin.
I'm gonna have to go with them with the hands only because I seen it. I seen it happen. It runs in her blood. I seen it.
Runs in her blood.
Right to the goddamn old family. Oh my God.
First,
That
I
is
would like
crazy.
to say that I don't know if I should be offended that none of y'all I don't know. But I would have to say it was a battle between them and Maurice, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I like to think that I'm pretty sane. So while I appreciate the psychologist, I feel like the thing I will need the most for 20 years is pure comedy.
Oh shit.
And so it was gonna be either Nem or Maurice.
Yes, that makes so much sense.
Nem said earlier she's not fighting; she's protecting her pretty.
That was for my friend though. I was young.
So yeah, Maurice.
Well, before you get
He
the
ain't fighting either.
answer, maybe I should. That applies to me too.
I can't. But you said you know there's a chance that you still want to make babies, and we can make that happen.
But I wasn't.
I agree.
Okay.
Maurice is like, I ain't got no type.
Well, you know, when you're in the bomb shelter, you just got to do what you got to do.
Right.
It's my responsibility to procreate.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, this is great. I love
My
it. This
God.
is great. This is great. This is great.
Oh,
My cheeks are hurting.
that was great.
That was really good. Ren,
That
excellent.
was great. That was great.
Right.
Oh my goodness. All right.
That was great. Oh my
Thank you so much for joining us today. And please remember to like, share, and follow our social media pages.
goodness.
And we will be back for another episode on Sunday, March 20th at 8 p.m. So let's raise our glasses to another successful episode of Truth on the Rocks.
Yeah.
And remember, when your truth gets too difficult, or if you're in a bombshell for 20 years,
Hello.
Blood clot.
have your truth on the rocks, baby.
Have it on the rock.
Yeah, baby.
We didn't mention that. Were we able to bring alcohol?
Right?
The most important part.
Most
Get
important
your
part.
go bag together. Nem sent out the list. Pack your bag. Pack your bag.
Right. I don't think I have alcohol in there. Gotta go edit.
Good
Thank you
night.
guys for joining.